So today we're going to be talking about the new boss event, the boss rush for Sukuna, King of Curses. I've already beaten this one time. It was extremely close, which you'll get to see later. And basically you'll see that in order to evolve an Itadori, which is right here, you need a bunch of curse fingers. By the way, this is the shiny one. He looks fucking phenomenal. This is his preview, which I will be making a video on as soon as I finish this. And you can see that I have in fact killed the King of Curses. The King of Curses only counts for the last battle or the third wave, but that's it. You can't like farm only the first two. This is the team that I am currently using. I'm using Julius, Gojo, Cheiso, Itadori, and then 2 farm units, of course. You don't need to worry about any of the traits. I will go ahead and show you the decimals. Here's Julius. He's decent. He's not the best, but he's okay. Next we have Gojo, which is an actual beast. We have Cheiso, which you don't really need any good stats on him. Like, okay, that's nice. And then finally we have Itadori, which you don't even need him for this. If anything, you should have a Haruka Rin instead. But in this case, I'm using him in order to evolve. And so let's get into it. Alright, so now we start off with placing all of our farm units. I place 3 sprint wagons and a Takurata, and make sure you upgrade 1 sprint wagon before the game like actually starts, just to maximize your profits, you know. I slightly messed up here, as you can see, but I can catch up. I'm only missing about like 100 to 200 yen. But yeah, once next wave starts, just focus and upgrade your farms, because you need to be able to finish all of your farms before wave 10. I personally maxed out my farms at around wave 8 or so, and at around wave 4 or 5, place down your Gojos. I put 2 in the middle here, and then I put 1 in the back. The reason why I put 2 in the middle here is because they're full AoE, and they'll just be stuck in here for a long time. Make sure that you are very mindful, very demure about your range with the Gojos and all of your units, because I'm not going to be maxing them out fully. I'm only going to be upgrading them until they reach their final upgrade. Then I placed my Julius here. I put 2 in the middle and 1 in the back. Later on, you're going to see that I make them focus the boss, which is a new part of this update. Make sure that they're focusing specifically the boss. You want to keep them here for as long as possible. The reason why I put them here specifically is because they can stun and make sure that he stays here inside of the range of damage. Just, you know, to like get a long enough time to get a lot of hits in, especially when Sukuna spawns in. And then, yeah, you just want to make sure that in this range, specifically in the middle here, you want to stun. You want to keep and make sure that Sukuna stays inside of this range, because this is where your main source of damage is going to be. And as you can see here, I placed down additionally some couple Cheisos, you know, here in the middle. And at max upgrade, you'll see that they become full AoE and bleed, which will stop the enemies from regenning, which is like honestly the most fucking annoying in this mode, because the enemies get like 11x regen, and it's like, dude, you need a bleed unit. And like the only ones that I know have bleed is like Alucard and Cheiso, but obviously my Cheiso is low level. He's only here to make sure that these things stop bleeding, or sorry, to stop regen. And then yeah, you can see here Sukuna spawned in, but he's pretty slow. He's not as slow as I would like him to be, but you know, it'll be fine. It gives us enough time to actually upgrade everything. And yeah, just make sure that everything in here will basically die before they reach that last endpoint, where I have my Julius and where I have my Gojo on. Just make sure that they don't reach them, because that's just mainly for leaking. But regardless, that is fine. At around wave 14 to 15 or so, the first Sukuna will reach the middle, like you see here. And make sure that you have at least 1 Gojo ability, which is Void, in order to stun. Julius is also here for that reason, and you basically want to keep him in this area where everyone can hit him for as long as possible. And so yeah, the Gojo ability will stun him, and Julius' his ability will also stun him. I think it's a girl actually, but I digress. She is here to stun on top of Gojo's Void. Additionally, they do some weird stuff, because for some reason they said that they fixed the cooldowns affecting each other, but in this update they still affect each other. Like you'll see here, Gojo will use his ability and Sukuna will still be moving, and then it's up to Julius in order to actually stun. But it's a little bit annoying, but it's fine. They're once again only here for the reason of keeping them in here, and that's imperative to this actual task. Anyways, at around wave 19 or so, he will die, and you'll be able to select an attack that he uses to disable. You can pick from 4. It's weird because he doesn't really use his abilities, and they don't really stun any of your units if he does attack you. But I'm not really sure. It is kind of iffy, question mark. I think there was definitely a bunch of bugs, but here I pick his third attack, which is Cleaving Dash, because I don't want him to move anywhere. I'm not sure what any of his moves actually do, because once again, like I said, they don't stun any of your units. The only one that does stun is his Malevolent Shrine, but even then it's kind of like, okay, you only get stunned for like 1 second, so it's not really that important. If anything, you don't even need to disable any of the moves. But yeah, like I said previously, stunning him and keeping him in range in all of your units is imperative. I don't want him to move anywhere, and some of his moves that he uses will move him sporadically or keep him in place. The ones that keep him in place is like Cleave and his Flame Release. He stays still for about like 0.8 seconds or so, but it's something, and it'll keep him inside of the range of all of your units in order for, well, for him to die. And so yeah, now it's wave 20, wave 25, second Sukuna spawned in, which is still pretty easy. It takes about 4 to 5-ish waves for him to actually reach the point where he can actually be hit by all of your units, but I digress. At this point, you should have most, or if not all, of your middle units maxed to their final ability. Once again, just to their final ability. I'm not trying to max them out to like upgrade 12 or 11 or anything like that. I just want them to be able to reach their max potential. So for Julius, that's the big explosion. It has like some weird name. I don't really remember it. But for Gojo, he gets his max purple. For Chaso, he gets his full bleed AoE that you can see. It's yeah, that's basically all that you need to do to max them out. You don't need to put them to their max ability. If you have enough money, which I doubt, great, phenomenal, do all of that. But yeah, so Julius here, upgrade 7, upgrade 8 would be Lunia Caulis. I'm definitely pronouncing that wrong, but that's all you want her to be. She has a massive AoE. She stuns. It does have a pretty long cooldown of 8.9 seconds, but the jump is for damage is crazy. It's like 6k or 5k damage. But yeah, at this point, once again, you should have most, or if not all, of your middle units maxed their final ability. And then I just focus on the back, just in case if any Sukuna or any of the enemy units will leak, which will most definitely happen. You can already see him walking past here. And yeah, try to time your void uses so that he stays in range for as long as possible. And then, yeah, you should be fine. And here, the second Sukuna is down, and I stand where his body actually dies so that I know I can kill off 1.58 million damage before he reaches the end, like just at this point. And I also disable Dismantling Slam, because you don't want to disable, once again, like I said, you don't want to disable Flame Release because he stands still during those moves that he uses his Flame Release. Additionally, he stands still for like 0.2 or 3 seconds for his Cleave. So that's why the two things that I disable is Dismantling Slam and the Cleave Rush, or whatever it's called. And yeah, once you do that, you should be chilling for a while. And the reason why I have 2 Chasos in these corners is to deal some extra bleed damage to Sukuna. It's most likely not going to do anything because he is level 11. He's not going to do that much damage. Upgrade 2, he does 974 damage. Of course, you want, like I said, to level your units up as much as you can. The new max is 60 for a while, and the damage jump between 50 and 60 is a lot. It's like 2-3k, something around that. But yes, wave 30 hits. He's right here. You can see him. He's pretty close. Make sure you sell your farm units. Upgrade your units, deal some extra damage. That's obvious. Make sure that you also place your units somewhat far away. You can see in the beginning that I placed them before that crossroad that is in the bottom right corner. The reason why is because when he walks past, he does some weird attack that will make it so it disables you selling that unit. So make sure that your farms are out of that range, and make sure that you can actually attack. And if you need to sell your units, it's whatever, it's fine. Additionally here, make sure that you look at your units that are in the middle. Make sure that they are in range of hitting. If they're not, turn off your ability if you have it to auto. Set your ability to auto on your last Sukuna, or sorry, your last Gojo. He's going to be the last one that is actually able to stun. So make sure you disable the first Gojo's auto ability. You see it here. That's pretty important, because otherwise you're going to be stunning at the middle point where he's not going to be affected. And yeah, as for the Chasos, I upgrade them to number 3 because he gains slight power spike. But it's alright to have him not upgraded. Once again, he's only there for the leaks and deal some extra damage. But once you do all of this, you should be able to kill. I get extremely close here, so make sure you have good stats and level up your units that I keep on saying. Traits do not matter. This is traitless. So if you have a monarch, you're fucked. Make sure you have good stats. Make sure you have some good levels. And once you should do all of this, you should be able to kill. My Chaso's level 11 has dog shit stats. This is all a numbers game. My Chaso has AAA. This is all numbers. I keep on saying this. How much damage can you do in a certain time frame or a certain limit? And as you can see, Sukuna gets really close here. I actually thought that I would lose, but I do in fact get the win. I get a couple trophies. You see it. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Thanks for watching, and I hope you all have a very good day. Take care.